Alright, for my first video in this series, I'm going to talk about adding and subtracting with signed numbers. So the first thing you need to understand is what is a signed number. And this is something that kids learn very early on in elementary school but have no understanding of it. So hopefully this video will give you some understanding about what's going on. So first off, signed numbers are a direction. So if I wanted to go plus 3, that means I'm going to go 3 to the right. So here's plus 3 on a number line. Here's 0. It has no sign, either positive or negative. Negative 3 means it's right here. That's left 3 on the number line. So a sign is simply a direction. So that's the first thing. Right or left. Now back to this, just to clarify, if we had a number line that was up and down, and here was 0, positive 3 means up 3, negative 3 means down 3. So there's positive 3, there's negative 3. So it doesn't matter the orientation, it's still a direction. Positive right, negative left, positive up, negative down. Okay? Now, when we operate, so like addition, we'll keep the direction of that number the same. Subtraction changes the direction. And so that's where the second one is where everybody kind of messes up, because you can't use what you memorized back in the 3rd and 4th grade to do the subtraction problems where you have multiple signs. So if you have, we'll start kind of easy. If you have 5 plus 2, that is 7 because you go 5 to the right and then 2 more in the positive direction. So we went 7 in the positive direction. Okay. If we did 5 minus 2, that means we went 5 to the right, and then we did something. We changed the direction of whatever this number is. Well, this number right now is a positive 2. So we're going to change the direction of the positive 2. So we're going to go back to negative 2. So that would be 3. So 5 minus 2, you probably had that memorized as 3 back in the day. But think of it as a change in direction. So let's keep going. What about negative 5 plus 3? Well, this is saying first go left 5, so to the negative 5 position, which is right there. And then it says go in the same direction as 3. If there's no sign here, we can assume it's a positive 3. So we're going to go to the right 3. And so your answer would be negative 2. So negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. And again, probably in the 7th and 8th grade, that's the time when you learn about signed numbers and you learn all these rules that go with them. But if you think of it just as a direction, it makes things easier. So this one already gave you the answer. So we'll pop up another one here. So let's say we did negative 3 minus 4. Okay. Well, negative 3 means we're going to be, here's 0, so here's negative 3. So we're right there for the first part, saying go to negative 3. And then this is saying change the direction of the number to the right. Well, the number to the right now is 4. So this is really saying negative 3 plus a negative 4. So it's change the direction of the sign to the right, of the number to the right. So we're going to go 4 more to the left. And you end up at negative 7. So these are equivalent. Negative 3 minus 4 is the same as negative 3 plus a negative 4. And they're both negative 7. Because, again, a negative changes the direction of the sign to the right, of the number to the right. Okay, how about this one? And this is where things kind of fall apart for kids, especially. I even have high school kids that have done very well in math up until the 8th grade struggle with a problem like this or get it wrong. And so let's analyze it. So negative 5 means go to the left 5 to start, and then it says change the direction of the sign to the right, of the sign number to the right. So this is saying if we change the direction of a number that's already going negative, that makes it both positive. So we would go 3 to the right and end up at -2. And you know, once you understand that change, then you can start thinking about all the other rules that go with it, and we'll talk about them right before I end this video. And so the next one here is 6 minus -4. So see if you can do this one. Pause the video, give it a shot. So this one is +6, and so we would go to the right 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we are, happily at 6 after that number. Then it says change the direction of the sign number to the right. And so we change the direction, and it becomes a +4. So if you change the direction twice, they're both positive. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, and you end up with 10. So -6 plus 10. All right. So let's just make sure you have it. Let's say you had -3 minus a +5. I'll even put the number there. Okay. So pause it, see if you got it, and then start it up again. So -3, and don't use a calculator. That'd be cheating in this case if you're trying to understand this. So you go, whoops, and I went the wrong direction because that's a -3. Negative means go left 3. So 1, 2, 3, there we are. And then it says change the direction of the sign number to the right. So the number's 5, so be -3 plus a -5. So then you go 5 more, and you end up with -8. And I didn't count them all out. 5, 6, 7, 8. There they are. And so there you have it. So the rules, if you want the rules, okay, so here are the rules for addition. This is probably how you were taught it to begin with, and we'll work on this. So if the first rule of addition, if the signs are the same, you add and keep the sign. So in other words, if you have -3 plus -4, we know that is 7 because we'd add 3 and 4 and keep the sign. But again, I'd like you to know that we're going left 3 plus we're going left 4. Just in the same manner, if you had +3 plus a +4, that's saying go right 3 and right 4, which is 7. But you'd add and keep it +7. Add and keep the sign. Okay, what if the signs are opposite? Because that's the only other option. So if you had 3 plus a -7, this tells you to subtract and take the sign of the bigger number. So 3 plus a -7, well, 3 minus 7, or 7 minus 3 is 4, and the bigger number is 7, so it's -4. But I think it's much better to think right 3, left 4, left 7. You end up left 4 from 0. But that's all right. And so if you had -3 plus a +7, well, again, you'd subtract. That would be 4. And it would be positive because the 7's positive. You take the sign of the bigger. So those are the rules of addition. The rules of subtraction are, this is how it was originally taught to me, change subtraction to addition. And then change the sign to the right. Well, what's actually happening, again, is we're changing the direction. With addition, you don't change the direction. You keep the direction the same. But with subtraction, you change direction. So if you have 7 minus a -3, make that a positive, you would change subtraction to addition and change the sign to the right. And then now we can use the rules of addition. The signs are the same, you'd add, keep the sign. That's 10. Okay, if you did negative 7 minus a negative 3. Again, you change subtraction to addition, which changes the direction of the negative 3, changes the sign to the right, and you end up with, you subtract because they're opposite signs, and take the sign of the bigger, which would be negative 4. Kind of jumped ahead, my writing jumped ahead of my thinking. And so that's the rules of adding and subtracting integers in this case. We didn't get into any complicated numbers, any ugly numbers are sometimes called. But I hope this helps, and see you next time.